and today we're going to continue our discussion about structs. So structs on their own, we already went over that. That was a way that we can organize our information, group it together, add layers of abstraction. But there are additional things that you can do with structs, and one of those things is make an array of structs. And in this example, we're going to create an array of structs to create a database of students, of type student. So first things first, you should have this struct already created. So remember, we had a student struct where we had properties like a first name of type string, a last name of type string, the month of type int, the day of type int, the year of type int, and the double GPA. So these are the properties of our student struct. And now we're going to create an array of structs. And to do that, we simply state the type of struct that, or the type of array that we want. And in this case, we want an array of students. So we type in student, and then we name our array, and we're going to call this one CS-232 students. And I need to put the size of the array, and remember, we like to create constants when we're designating sizes of arrays. So I'm going to say constant num of students, and I'm going to set that equal to 2. I'm going to keep it small for now because when we make examples, we like to keep them small so that they're easy to check. Let's see. Okay, so then we can put num of students and a semicolon. So now we've initialized an array of type student, and we've named that array CS-232 students. And the size of the array is going to be the constant num of students, which in this case is just 2. So we're going to get our user input here, and we want to create a for loop that gets the information from the user. We want to get the first name, we want to get the last name, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to create a for loop. Int I equals to 0, while I is less than the number of students, I plus plus. There was a question that a student asked recently about for loops and whether or not we had to use these curly brackets. So there is a way to do this without using curly brackets, but it's only if you're going to, if your for loop is only going to have a single statement in it. We're not going to have a single statement in this for loop. We're going to have multiple statements. So we need to use the curly braces. But anyway, somebody asked about that. Maybe you'll at some point see in C++ a for loop without the curly braces, and you can as long as it's a single statement after the for loop. But that's it. That's all. That's the only case you can do that. So we're going to see out student, and then we want to say I plus 1 student, because we start at 0. We can't say student 0. That would be interesting. Enter your first name. And we're going to see in. Sorry about that. We're going to see in CS-232 student dot first I dot first name. Okay, so this should get the first name from the user, and we're going to want to get more than just the first name. We're going to want to get the last name and the birth date information. So I'm going to copy this. All right, so now I'm going to change this to the last name, and you're going to change yours to last name. We're going to change this to month, birth month, and then we'll change this to month. We'll change this to birthday. And then we'll change this to day. And then we'll change this last one to birth year. And this one will say year. And we're missing one. We're missing GPA. I'm going to add one more and enter your GPA. And let's instead make that capitalized so that we know it's abbreviated. And okay. All right. So this should be enough. Just checking. All right. I want to see out and line here. Okay, that's better. Adding that indel at the end will make the output cleaner, and that's what I want. So now we want to focus on what the output's going to look like. And like I had mentioned before, we're trying to make a database. So we're going to create an output that expresses the information in a way that is clean, in a way that delivers the information to the user while also providing something that's easy to access. So I'm going to go ahead and create another for loop. So we want to first, let's see, we want to title what our information is going to be first. So I'm going to say cout first name, and then I want to \t last name, and \t month, \t day, \t year, \t GPA, and end line. Sorry. It's still pretty early over here while I'm filming this, so I apologize for all the little mistakes that I'm making. Okay, and now that we've created headers for our output, we're going to create a for loop to output the information. So int I equal to 0. I less than the num of students, I plus, and we're going to see out CS-232 students. I got first name and \t. Okay. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I want to show the last name. I want to show month. I want to show day. I want to show year. And I want to show GPA. And I'm not done yet. I want my month, day, year to only have a singular tab for the birthday. And I also want to end line here. And then this should create an output that looks good enough for the user to be able to discern the information very quickly. One more. Let's see out and end out here. So at a glance, the user can discern the information. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this, and I'm going to run it. And it's going to take me a second because I haven't ran it yet. All right, student 1, enter your first name. I'll say our first name is Sally Jones, birth month 3/23/2001. Student 1, enter your GPA, how about 3.45? Student 2, Jimmy Johnson, birth month 5 to 1998. And the GPA can be 4.0. And just look at that. So we have our first name column, we have our last name column, month, day, year, GPA. All of it's formatted very nicely. At a glance, you can receive the information. And so this is one way that you can make an impromptu database using structs in C++. And that's going to do it for this video lesson. This is actually a really important lesson. So I was looking at different questions on like an admissions test, and it was asking for a user to create like a database similar to this one, except with hospital records. So if I were you, I would try to make your own database of something that you're interested in, if it's not students. If you want to make a database of something that you like, I think that would be good practice for you. And I think it's important because I've already seen it come up in an important situation where you'd have to prove your competency. So that's it. I feel like there's something else that I want to say, but if I remember, I'll include it in the next video lesson. Anyway, thank you so much for listening and have a wonderful day.